What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be taking a look at this week's forecast, seeing what the stars have in store for us. So, let's get into it. As always, shout out to all the Leos celebrating birthdays this week. Pay close attention to this energy as it will be with you all year. Now, we are steadily moving through Leo season, and we are heading into the last 10 degrees here. And as some of you may know, within each zodiac sign, for every 10 degrees, there are different rulers. We call these decans, and each decan is ruled, by a different planet. And this is what adds a little bit more depth and flavor towards each season, and people born under those energies and things of that nature. So we're heading into the third decan of Leo, which is ruled by Mars. Now, this is going to take on a lot more significance, especially because Mars is at its point in its transit through Aries, where it's quite active, where it's approaching these square aspects with the Capricorn energies. So this is greatly going to affect the last 10 degrees of Leo season. So on one hand, we can find ourselves extremely motivated at this time. We could also find ourselves experiencing a large amount of tension, aggression, but there's a desire to really take action here. Right at the end of last week, we had Mars come into square with Jupiter, and we still have this influence brewing. And what I really want to point out here is that Mars square Jupiter is, of all the square aspects and combinations that planets can make, Mars square Jupiter isn't a very difficult one, but it's one where we are truly in control of how that energy plays out. What it wants here is that Mars is energy, Jupiter is expansion. We want to do something, we want to be productive, but we want to do it big. So under that influence, we kind of tend to lack patience. We can easily be scattered, right? But what needs to happen here is that we need to tap into our Jupiter. We need to know what we're working towards. Okay, so wherever the Mars and Jupiter square is occurring for you, you need to tap into both those houses and really think like, okay, do I have any goals regarding these particular houses, and what themes are playing out, and how can I really focus my energy there? And that way the Martian energy is stimulated and it's focused. All right, but the key thing, like I said, you'll have to really rely on patience. So as you'll see with a lot of these energies for this week, patience is going to be key. So we really want to just kind of slow down a bit, but this is a really Mars-led, action-oriented, aggressive period that we're headed into for these last 10 degrees of Leo. Okay, the next thing I want to look at, I'm going to come back to Mars because it's making another significant aspect this week. But I want to shift here over to Mercury. Mercury is right in flow, speeding through the sign of Leo. This is really dynamic energy. Wherever this is occurring, you should be seeking to express yourself in some type of way. Find some way to be productive. Find some way to increase your confidence. Be receptive towards exploring new things. Remember, Leo is fixed energy, and what we can find here with Mercury transit here is an unwillingness to adjust, an unwillingness to come out of our comfort zones and things like that. So you want to make sure you're experimenting right now, that you're flowing, that you're being open-minded and not too dogmatic, not too fixed, right? But we have Mercury this week coming into contact with Uranus. There's a harsh aspect squaring, so we know that Uranus here in Taurus is really making us evaluate what we value, and what it's really doing here with Mercury is affecting our perception. Okay, we may really see that our perception is a little bit superficial, a little bit too self-centered, okay? A little bit too dogmatic, our approach through communication and stuff like that. So that within itself can create a little bit of conflict in terms of communication and overall connecting with others. But the best way to overcome this is to remain open-minded. Don't feel like, you know, you can't be taught anything, or don't try to force upon your opinion on another, but rather express it in its own unique way, and the message will already hit home for the other. But if you are Mercury ruled, if this is in one of your prominent houses, or in the third house, sixth house, 10th house, you can find yourself a lot more restless or anxious this week. So this is a thing where, coupling with what I just said about the Martian energy, needing stimulation, need to make sure that we're directing our energy in the correct manner, and that, you know, we make correct choices with what we invest time and energy into, okay? But it's always a great potential to have aha moments, or see things from a higher perspective when Mars comes in with Uranus, because it's the rational mind and a bit of the creative genius mind coming in contact. So the more we're willing to do the things I just suggested, be open-minded and all of that, the more we're able to learn, okay? So you definitely want to apply your energies correctly in that manner. And then, of course, because it's communication, there can be a tendency to argue, to want to get our point across, okay? Egos can suddenly be hit, but it's all about what you do after that, okay? So we got that occurring. The next thing that I see coming up here, we have Venus freshly in the sign of Cancer. It's a new wave of expression. We're more in our emotions, okay? We're feeling things out. We're feeling a little bit more sentimental, and it's all right to feel. We just spent, you know, the last couple months intellectually analyzing our relationships with others, our sense of self, our values, and all of that. So right now, we want to find ways to really dig into ourselves and see how we feel, and become emotionally connected to wherever this is transited in our chart, or whatever relationships are taking center stage right now. We have a semi-square with the Sun and Venus. Now, with this being Leo and this being Cancer, what I see here is a reluctance to really express our affection. Now, this can cause conflict, okay? This can come off the wrong way. This can, along with, you know, the Mercury aspects going on, result in miscommunications. Someone can make a great gesture, you know, do something romantic for you, something very thoughtful, but you may not reciprocate the energy in the correct way. You may not actually say how grateful you are. So my advice here is don't hesitate, you know, seek to connect deeper, be in the moment, you know, be lovey-dovey. Let someone know how much you appreciate them. Let them know how you feel, because this can lead to a lot more warmth, a lot more connectiveness. And always remember, Leo corresponds to the heart. We can look at that as the heart chakra and things like that. So for some, however you gauge this energy within yourselves personally this week is either going to open your heart chakra or block it. So tune into yourself and see how you feel within these regards. And remember, since it's creative expression, if it's hard for you to verbally express this, maybe do it through written word, writing a song, writing a poem. Leo just says, whatever it is, get creative. And that can also suffice with the Mars square Jupiter. Do it big. You know what I mean? So we got that going on. And then we also have the Sun in awkward positions this week, where it's going to be interconjunct or quincunx the sign of Pisces as well, and that will be the sun will be quincunx Neptune in Pisces, and also quincunx Jupiter in Capricorn. Now, how I see this is unconsciously we're going to feel not as confident as we need to be. For no particular reason, some of us may just feel out of it. You may have been extremely motivated and productive last week. Then this week, it may be a difficult time to get going. What I'm telling you here is to look deeply within yourself and acknowledge whatever thoughts are coming to the surface. So there's repressed insecurities that'll be present that gets in the way of us being able to express this Leo energy. Okay, then when we add the quincunx with Jupiter in here, there can be a need to excessively drown our sorrows, or biting off more than we can chew here. Okay, doing things overestimating our abilities. And what it all does when you combine it together is these feelings of confusion. So all I can say in this regard is that there's a strong need to remain grounded. So only you know what within yourself helps you achieve, clarity and groundedness. Whatever those things are, is going to be essential for you to do that. So if you find yourself unmotivated, confused, get into your bag and figure out, okay, how do I reconnect? How do I get grounded again? Okay, but resist the urge to let your sorrows make you overreact or overindulge. Okay, and then also don't make promises that you can't keep. Okay, or don't set the bar too high. Remember, we're heading into the waning phase of the moon cycle, so there's no pressure to start anything new. It's really kind of about allowing things to, whatever's in motion, to keep carrying those out and reflect, towards what's to come. All right, so no pressure to actually do things big here. All right, but you will possibly feel that particular way. All right, but overall, we got the moon is gonna touch Taurus, which is gonna be stabilizing. Then it's gonna go to Gemini, which is going to, like I said, amplify that restless energy, the need to be stimulated. All right, and then eventually get to Cancer, which is gonna be a little bit more reflective, allow us to really feel. Right? So then the middle of the week, we got Mars squaring Pluto. And this is an aspect that's been building for a while. So this is one where it's like having this knowledge, like I said, it may not help you evade whatever is supposed to play out, but it can just make you conscious. This is one where a very reactive energy, a very kind of violent energy. All right, so if you find yourself in any type of position where it's getting to that point, you want to just take a deep breath and realize what is occurring. Don't allow yourself to go overboard. Okay, that's what can happen off of an impulse. We can go too far. This energy is best channeled into something earthly, something career oriented, something that helps us feel like we're achieving status. Okay, being competitive is a good way to channel this. So whatever it is you can do, get out there with your friends, go participate in something, sports wise, whatever allows you to get that competitive, aggressive energy out. But you don't want it to build up and then just explode. And then if this is occurring, either planet is in a house like your 7th house, your 11th house, your 12th house, 4th house, this energy can come at you through others. All right, so that's where you definitely want to be more aware and kind of walk away from any confrontation. Okay, because like I said, it's just one where this energy is amplified right now, right? But overall, this can be a really productive week if you're focused. Do the things necessary to keep yourself grounded and in alignment. You can make some major discoveries. All right, so this is my interpretation of this week's forecast. Feel free to chime in. Let me know what's going on in your world. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, you can do so now. If you need a reading, holla at me. Till next time, peace.